Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Nice to have you on with us, and we sure appreciate it. And I have no idea whether I'll be able to see your names or not anymore, but let's see as you come on if they flash by me. Yeah, they're flashing by me again. Hold on, I'm going to try something over here. Let me see here. Okay, let me see if I can see them coming across. Good morning, guys. I think there's an update in Facebook that's not allowing me to see your names. They go by so quickly. Let me just see. I can see Michael saying good morning. I'm just on my iPad here. Let me see. I can see comments. And I'm gonna do this. See if they come by on this thing. Probably not, guys, and that's the way it is. I want to say hello to all of you, but there's a definite problem, and it's not on my end apparently. Okay, so anyway. Don't ask me, guys. I don't know what's going on, but I think it's an update. That's what I heard. We're just trying to confirm that. Okay? So, hi, everyone. Hi, Brahim. Hi, Michael. Hi, Doc McEwen. Hi, Fran. Hi, Yolande. Hi, Nick from our staff. Hi, Janice. Hi, all of you guys that are regular. We love you dearly, and you know what? I can't see it even on my iPad. So, let's get to a few stories here. And hold on a minute here. Let's see. Look at this one here. This, guys, is an enormous... Well, it's not like you haven't heard it here, but this confirms it, okay? A study, and I read it in Nature, nature.com, talks about, here it is, gut bacteria found to flush out toxic forever chemicals. Okay, so there's PUFAs, which are bad oils, and there's PFAS, P-F-A-S, all capitals. Those are forever chemicals. And guess what, guys? You know what the good news is? You know that we accumulate, you know how we've talked about it on this program for so many times. And that you're accumulating just a forever chemical, like a plastic, for example, forever chemicals. A credit card and a half. So a credit card, you know, the size of a credit card, and a half a week on average. That's what people accumulate in their bodies of not only heavy metals, mercury, lead, cadmium, and these forever chemicals that are in almost every spray that you can think of, plastic. But the good news is, guys, okay, so let me read this to you. Gut bacteria, and I've told you this before. It's another reason why you need to be on a broad spectrum probiotic. Listen to the study out of nature.com. Gut bacteria found to flush out toxic forever chemicals. It's actually just got released. And you can also see it in ScienceDaily.com. And you know what strains are the best to get rid of forever chemicals? the lactobacillus. So I love the lactobacillus. If you look at our broad spectrum probiotic, we load it up with lactobacillus, the reuteri, the rhamnosus, and others. Guys, this stuff protects your body from forever chemicals. We live in a toxic soup. And you know what I always say? You can't get away from it. You can't run, but you can run, but you can't hide. Okay? You can run away and get your own island in Costa Rica. That won't save your bacon. But probiotics will. Probiotics will. They suck up and destroy these forever chemicals. Isn't that important? Isn't that, guys, isn't that good news? Because we can't get away from it. And you look at heavy metals, a big, big problem, mercury, lead, cadmium, which travels into your system through yeast, fungus, candida. These things get into your brain. They cross the blood-brain barrier. A big, big issue in one of the reasons that we see so much more Parkinson's today. ALS, in my opinion. Why is that? Well, these people are canaries in the coal mine, and these heavy metals, which are transported by fungi. And again, guys, it comes back to the gut. Leaky gut. Leaky brain. And not only that, but when you think of yeast getting into the bloodstream, how does it get in there? Well, you take an antibiotic, for example. And if you don't replace your bacteria, you're killing all your friendly bacteria. They're your border guards. They keep yeast at bay. What do we see today? We don't, like even in SIBO, you know how they named small intestine bacterial overgrowth? Well, they made a big mistake because it's not a bacterial overgrowth. It's a fungal overgrowth. It's yeast. It's fungus. But guys, again, the importance of broad spectrum probiotics. They're on your side. We've been saying this for years at the Doctor Is In podcast. Look, you need to take probiotics. It's one of your go-to. You got to have it. We live in a world that's the way it is. If we think we're going to get away from plastics, if we think, it's in the water, it's in the air, these microplastics, my expression is you find them on Mount Everest and you find them in the placenta. They're everywhere. You can't live in a bubble. You need to protect yourself. Get your body a lean, mean fighting machine. Okay. Gut bacteria found out to flush out forever chemicals. Love it. Good news. What a great, sort of made my day this morning. Well, a couple of days ago when I read it. I knew it. I knew it. Guys, it's been over 40 years since I've been talking about probiotics. And the world is finally catching up. They're finally catching up. Okay. That was on the forever chemicals. Okay. Somebody was asking me the other day, because last week we talked about saturated fat. I don't know if you remember this or not, but I talked about the importance of saturated fat and how it's got a fat that's got a bad rap. Do you guys like that? The fat that gets a bad rap. which is saturated fat, for years has been vilified. You know, it drove me crazy then, back in the 70s, and it drives me crazy today. Everyone and their dog went fat-free for years and years. Look for fat-free in the store. Yeah, well, you know what they replaced the fat with? Sugar. How stupid was that? And I used to tell people way back when, fat don't make you fat. It's not calories in and calories out. You know, eat less and exercise more. Right? It's amazing that they get these statements and they become dogma. Right? They get these things. The world gets this stuff in their craw and they can't get rid of it. One of them was unsaturated fat. Look at it. Doesn't it look bad? Look at the grease when you cook bacon. Ooh, that's so bad for you. Look at all the fat on meat. And I was like John the Baptist in the wilderness screaming, stop it. It's not true. Saturated fat is where you get your fat soluble vitamins. Vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K. Two. I was screaming it. It doesn't make any sense if you have fat soluble vitamins. And then the world went stupid. And what did it do? It cut out all the fat. Like, fat is bad. But, you know, when you take fat out of yogurt, what does the world do? They put sugar in to replace it. You take fat out of this and tap fat out of that, you know? Like, you can hardly go to a grocery store and get saturated fat in hamburger. Everything's lean. It's just because the world went stupid, guys. It had nothing to do with science. It had everything to do with the food industry. They lied and people died. And you got fat-free salads, dressing, right? And it's so silly. And don't eat, you know, and even today, here we are in 2025, and red meat is still vilified. Bacon is still vilified. People are so, because they don't know anything about nutrition. It's amazing to me. And I hear Kennedy in the USA is gonna demand that every medical school teach nutrition. I like that, but I'm not. I'll tell you why I'm not optimistic. 99% of nutrition teaching, run, Forrest, run. It's nonsense. They're going to still be teaching. They want to do nutrition in medical school? Well, get online and take a nutrition course. You know what you're going to find? Well, you better be careful with saturated fat. You better be, red meat is acidic. Don't have to. Bacon? It's got sodium nitrate in it. It ain't no good for you. And on and on and on. So even if they do teach, and I'm not against teaching nutrition in medical schools. It's always amazed me why they didn't. But I'll tell you, when I took over 2,000 hours, I think, of nutrition to get my PhD, I had to undo most of it. I think it was Mark Twain said, You know, what you really learn is you better undo what you've been taught. You know, I had to unlearn it because I was taught like the rest of them, you know, like be careful with saturated fat, you know, but we've always used the expression of saturated fat is satisfied. What's that mean? Well, it's complete. It's hard to oxidize it. You know, one of the problems with PUFAs, polyunsaturated fatty acids, okay? PUFAs, PUFFAS, PUFAs, okay? What are they? Well, go in the middle aisle of your grocery stores and look at all the hateful 8 oils. Soy, safflower, sunflower, right? Canola, Canada's gift to the world, canola oil. Well, canola oil is wonderful. Guys, I like canola oil. Put it in your car. Put it in your car. It's, you know, when I go for an oil change, well, Dr. Martin, what do you want in there? I say fully synthetic. And they go, okay, costs more, but apparently my grandson's a mechanic, and he told me, Grandpa, fully synthetic. What did they put in there? Canola oil? They should. Guys, I'm not teasing. These are fully synthetic oils. The world, because they said fat makes you fat and fat gives you cholesterol and cholesterol gonna kill you, that's what they did. That's what was the mantra. That's what is being taught even today. I don't teach that. It's nature. You see a steak? The best food in the world? Saturated fat. Big part of it. Protein, fat, no carb. A steak. Look at it. Hamburger with all the grease, the fat. It's the best. It's got more vitamins in it. The fat-soluble vitamins. Don't cut away the fat. Okay. What does saturated fat do, by the way? Okay, because you can't oxidize it easily. You can. That's why you can cook it. You can take butter and cook with it. Why? Because you can't oxidize it. It's so good. Guys, you know, people ask me every day, Doc, what do I do with butter now that you're not letting me eat bread? I'm very sympathetic, by the way, okay? Man shall not live by bread alone. I could. I love bread, okay? I love bread, but it don't love me, and it don't love you either. We live in a different world. They changed the flour. Anywho, what does saturated fat do? Somebody asked me the other day, okay, saturated fat, Doc, why? Okay, well, tell us why. Well, your fat-soluble vitamins for sure, okay? But you know what else it does? And it's so good for you because it does this. It elevates your HDL. What? It elevates your cholesterol, your HDL, your high-density lipoprotein. It actually elevates HDL. You know what? Most people got that upside down. Most people have high triglycerides and low HDL. It's part of metabolic syndrome. 93% of the population, they're upside down. They're eating way too many carbs. What does that do? What does sugar and carbs do? Elevate your triglycerides. Okay? So when you decide to have Cheerios in the morning, okay, or Tony the Tiger, that's what they used to call me when I was a kid, by the way. I liked it. Okay? Tony the Tiger. They're great. Right? You remember that? Well, they're not that great. Well, the cereal. They're not that great. But what I'm saying is, guys, when you eat a carbohydrate and when you're having sugar, that elevates your triglycerides. Food. And what elevates your HDL, what you want, HDL is on your side. So is LDL, by the way. LDL is on your side. There's no such thing as bad cholesterol, guys. There's no such thing. Cholesterol is bad when it's low. Now again, if they go into the medical schools to teach nutrition, and they teach this today, and it'll be part of their nutrition courses, of course, they will talk about keeping your fat down because they're still on the cholesterol craze. They have it upside down. The world has it upside down. We have more heart disease than ever. We're not winning the war. We're not winning the war on cancer. Big part of that is food. We're not winning the war on heart disease. Big part of that is food. We're not winning the war on Alzheimer's, type 3 diabetes. A big part of that is food. Because we got the food chain upside down. We got the pyramid upside down. We got it wrong. You want saturated fat because it's going to elevate your HDL. You can do it with food. And people, I don't blame you guys. But you get blood work and the doctor wants to call you into the office because they tell you your cholesterol is high. They're panicking. I want to give you a high five. You want low triglycerides and high HDL. Total cholesterol? Who cares? You can't make me care. Doc, I got high HDL. Good for you. You're going to live longer. Your immune system is going to be better. Guys. Okay? So, do you know that saturated fat, by the way, helps to put calcium in your bones? We all know about vitamin K2. I'm big on vitamin K2. I want you to eat it. You eat it when you eat an egg. You eat it when you eat a steak. You eat it when you get dairy. What do you get? Vitamin K2. It's in butter. It's in cream. It's in dairy. It's in cheese. Why is cheese so good for you? And you know, the other day, I see so many comments. Dr. Martin, I thought dairy was inflammatory. No. Now look, if you have an allergy, and a lot of people do, and that's because they're on the wrong dairy, by the way. Okay, I rarely ever not that I've never seen it, it's just that I rarely ever see it. Oh, you know what I'm allergic to? I'm allergic to butter. What? I have an intolerance to dairy, they tell me. And then they say, I say, is it really dairy or is it milk? Grocery store milk with the fat taken out. Okay? A lot of kids today, they got allergies to dairy, and it's not dairy, the way I look at dairy. Is it butter? No. Is it cheese? No, they can have cheese. Well, what is it? Ice cream? What is it about dairy? Milk. Well, quit giving them milk. They don't need milk anymore. I always used to tell my patients, the only milk I want you to drink is mummy's milk. Okay? So when you're a baby and you're on mummy's breast, good. After that, get the kid weaned on water. They don't need to drink anything until they're old enough to drink coffee. And then coffee's good for you. They don't need juice. Bring them up drinking water. And if they've been on an antibiotic, whatever, and then they get leaky gut, and then they get, an autoimmune response to dairy, but usually it's not all dairy. That's usually. Guys, I was in practice for a long time. I saw it all, man. And I used to tell them, well, can they have cheese? Yeah. Well, that's dairy. Can they have butter? Oh, yeah, they can have butter. Doesn't bother them. Well, that's dairy. Can they have cream? Oh, I don't know. Well, that's dairy. Yeah. It's usually the sugar. A lot of times it was the sugar, the lactose. And I don't like lactose-free milk. You don't need milk. What are you giving kid milk for? Anywho, it puts calcium in the bones when you're getting that saturated fat. Okay? It helps absorb CoQ10. You know what, guys? CoQ10 is important. Your body makes it. It's a molecule your body makes. But you know when you're eating saturated fat, like a steak and eggs, meat, and cheese, you're getting more CoQ10. That saturated fat helps you to absorb CoQ10. Isn't that a reason to adore saturated fat? It protects your kidneys. What? Yeah. I hear it almost every day. Dr. Martin, my doctor told me to quit eating red meat because I got kidney problems. Well, I'm going to tell you something. You got kidney problems because you were eating too many carbohydrates. It's insulin. It's sugar. There's nothing that'll destroy your kidneys like sugar destroys your kidneys. And your liver. You want to protect your liver? Saturated fat. You want to protect your kidneys? Saturated fat. These things have been studied, guys. And it protects your liver big time from alcohol, is saturated fat. And remember, saturated fat don't give you fatty liver. You can have 100 steaks a day and you won't get fatty liver. Bread gives you fatty liver. Pasta gives you fatty liver. Cakes give you fatty liver. Muffins give you fatty liver. Sugar gives you fatty liver. Because all those things that I just mentioned turn to sugar rapidly. They give you fatty liver. So you want to protect your heart? Eat a steak. Eat hamburger. and leave the bun alone. Can you do that? Sure you can. Put cheese on it. You want to have a cheeseburger? I love cheeseburgers. Leave the bun behind. I know. I always had comedians in my office. Dr. Martin, how can I have a cheeseburger without the bun? I said, it's easy. Take out a knife and fork. When you go to a restaurant, you order a hamburger, tell them to leave the bun behind or you leave it behind. You don't got to eat that thing. It's going to turn to sugar in 5 nanoseconds. Leave the bun behind. There's a place you can use salad. To wrap your... I seen that. Here's some salad to wrap your hamburger. You can have a cheeseburger in a salad wrap. Ooh. Have you guys seen that? I've seen it. I haven't had one. I just take out a knife and fork and enjoy a cheeseburger. Isn't that good? Do you like cheeseburgers? I like bacon on top too. Yeah, love it. Okay. And by the way, the last thing that saturated fat really, really helps you with is your myelin sheet of your nerves. It's a myelin sheet of your nerves. That's really important. There's nothing negative about saturated fat, guys. Yeah, it's got a lot more calories. But who cares? It's not calories, it's fuel. And I've been consistent about that for many, many moons. And you guys know that. Okay, we got a great week, guys. Got a great week coming up. I wish I could say hello. I'm trying to, well, I think we figured out it's an update. And we'll see if we can undo it. I don't know. I have no idea. Okay? My team is working on it because it ain't going to be me because I don't know anything. Okay. You know what Friday is? Q&A. Okay, so get your questions in. We really love your questions. You know, all through the week too, when people just, they don't want their name on Q&A Friday. Well, oftentimes I'll answer their questions during the week when I'm doing my news cycle, okay? Anywho, guys, we appreciate our audience. I wish I could say hello. You know who you are, like the guys that come on here consistently, and we love you guys, and I don't want to miss anybody. Kevin and the group and all my friends, Gertie, and you guys are unreal, okay? We love you. Talk to you soon.